How you doing, man?
Pretty good.
Yeah. How's the year going? Well, I guess we're into the fall now.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's getting better for sure.
That's good.
Yeah.
I had the same experience. I think we all have. The beginning of the year was pretty slow and weird for most people.
Yeah, it was like dreadfully slow, which happened like 2 or 3 years ago also. It's like the first half was just...
Oh, in 23?
Yeah, maybe. I block it out. Those times are weird. Those slow times are really strange because it's like I'm stressed from not working, but then I'm also trying to, I guess, do some passion things on the side or work on the house or like stay busy or even have fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know. All that's just so confusing. And then it just blows by, I guess.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I mean, it's always interesting when you're slow because you feel at those first, like the first week or two, you're like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to get so much done. You do stuff around the house and then...
Yeah. And then you just start redoing your website and trying to...
And then into like week 2 or 3, you're like, wait, I haven't gotten an email or anything from anybody. And then it's like 2 months later and you're like, what's happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
But how long
Yeah.
have you been freelancing for full time?
Probably like 4 years now, because we met when I was on staff at Image Brew,
Right.
and COVID kind of
I think we met
shook
in
that
like
up.
2019, like right before COVID.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, because you did some Image Brew stuff
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yep. I think it was the Planet Fitness.
That one was a trip.
We got to talk about that one.
Yeah. Oh man, live production fiasco.
It was basically live.
It was one of those, man, it was funny because it was like the content we were shooting was so weird.
Yeah.
But it was actually took a good bit of thought to pull it off. Remember, we were running 2 sets in the same room.
In the same room.
So like when one was shooting, everyone was quietly, like art department was moving props and set dressing out of this one.
Yeah.
And we'd go back and forth. It was tricky.
And there was one spot where like we couldn't cross, but it was so easy to do. Like, and I think, I can't remember who it was. It might've been Ben, like crossed at one point. And we were like, we all realized, we're like, oh yeah, we should have like put something up there.
Yeah. I think we put like police tape up or something.
Yeah, we did
because
eventually. But yeah, that was for back in 2020, Planet Fitness. They opened like their 2000th location or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they wanted to do this live broadcast, live stream. Oh, was it on YouTube or their website or something like that?
I think it was YouTube, and then they'd link it around.
Yeah. And you were handling all the streaming side of it, I think, right?
We had Jared Sumter. Do you remember him?
Oh,
He used to run an office in Image Brew.
yes.
Really nice guy. Now he's in Old Town.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that's
He's
right.
got a cool little psych studio and stuff.
Yeah, he's in there
owns
with
tons of gear.
like Andrea.
Yep.
Is in that spot. Yeah.
Yep. I think he had a live switcher, so he controlled it. And then, I was in the room with the agency guys
Yeah.
calling the shots, kind of directing it.
Right. But it was, that was my first time working with you and Ben, and I was brought on to DP, and I hadn't worked with Chris before, but you had brought him Girding.
Was he gaffer on that?
Yep.
Okay.
So that was my first time working with him, and now he's one of my go-tos.
Yeah. Gerdo.
But I think everyone on that crew I was working with for the first time, which is great. But yeah, when you're shooting a project like that, it's totally different when it's live streaming. It's like a totally different world.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. I have a little bit of background in that from working in Nashville.
Mm-hmm. Like, what were you doing there?
Like opping for concerts and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I did a whole bunch before I directed there. I mean, I was directing indie bands, right?
Yep.
Music videos for them, but like real work was opping and like ACing on stuff. So I'd op concerts.
Yeah.
And I got like, it's kind of fun. It's fun being behind the camera on that stuff.
It is. It's an adrenaline rush.
It is. Yeah. It's like, I called it like, multiple days of prep and planning, and then just 2 hours of like intense focus.
It's some of the, like, I walk out of those shoots like ones that I've done at like the Pepsi Center and things like that. And my body is like completely drained.
Yeah.
Because it's not like physically exerting yourself. It's also mentally, you're just so locked in.
Yeah.
And there's a guy screaming in your ear for 3 hours.
I know. It's cool. I did years ago. I worked a full-time job in Nashville at Yamaha Entertainment Group, which was like the piano company. They had a record label side of it.
Okay.
So they did two things. They were a record label, and they also did like the artist management stuff where like if Alicia Keys was playing Jimmy Fallon on Friday, part of the office, their job was to like get a grand piano to Jimmy Fallon within 3 days.
Yeah.
Which was a whole logistical thing.
Yeah.
And then I was in the kind of creative side of it, and we did a lot of cool concerts and like events, but I produced one of the only things I've ever produced in my life. And it was like a concert in Disneyland with Elton John and like Earth, Wind and Fire.
Whoa.
And like, I can't even remember, just a bunch of like legends like that.
Yeah.
And the director was awesome.
Nice.
He was like a live dude that just does like Grammys and Oscars and just big stuff.
Yeah.
So I got to know him pretty well. And he was like the most chill, quiet, level-headed dude for like the whole week of pre-pro. They're just planning their cameras, talking about everything. Mm-hmm. He was so chill. And I remember him being like, hey man, it's, you know, we're not like heart surgeons. We're not saving lives here, you know?
Yeah.
But then he gets in the truck. He shows up for like production day, and he shows up with like 2 Monster Energies and a bag of almonds.
A bag of almonds.
And it was game on. And it was like completely different personality because he was such a quiet dude.
Oh, yeah.
And then when the camera started rolling and we were live, he's pounding energy drinks and just eating almonds and screaming at cameras for like 3 hours. And I was like, whoa, what a like bipolar career.
Wow. Yeah, totally different, like on switch.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, when I get hit up to do live events now, I mean, you know, I'm a little older than I used to be. And so now when it's like, oh, we need a cam up at like Red Rocks or something, I find it less fun than it used to be. Because I feel like I did it quite a bit.
Yeah.
But so now I'm a little bit like, is it a band I really want to see?
How does that work? I haven't live opped since I moved out here.
Mm-hmm. I've just always gotten like my name passed around or recommended, like word of mouth.
Yeah.
From whatever the producer is coming in from out of town. But I don't have like a hookup at Red Rocks.
So it's not, so Red Rocks shoots like every show with their own little like internal crew. I know that, but these jobs they're usually an outside production company shooting for some other purpose.
Yeah, and they're usually like touring with the band and like
That makes
shooting all those
sense.
shows. And then I think they have like their director and then their like lead DP that travels with them. And then they just hire all like cam ops and steady locally.
Yeah.
But the last one I did was a couple years ago. It was like Bill Burr's special, Netflix special.
Oh yeah, I watched this special.
Yeah.
Good job. I've seen your work.
That might be my most viewed work of all time.
That's awesome.
I think I
love some Bill Burr.
I think I was either A or B. I was like one of the main two.
On him.
I was waist up. On him.
Nice.
Yeah. That was cool. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely prefer commercial and not shooting live shows as much anymore. But I loved doing it when I did.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I mean, I'm most proud of my work when I get to plan it. And not saying there's no planning in that, but you know, like conceptualizing, boarding, all those things, right? Like executing, like creating a shot on paper basically, and then pulling it off, not whatever you call the other type.
I mean, I feel like as creatives, we all probably feel that way. So Marshall, for people out there who are watching, don't know much about you, can you give me a quick little intro and maybe shout out like where people can find your work?
Yep. I'm Marshall Burnette. Primarily, I kind of sell myself as like a commercial filmmaker. I feel like it encapsulates everything, but direct a lot of commercial work. And then work on a fair bit of narrative. I've made a feature and dabble in that world a little bit, pursuing that. And then DP and shoot some stuff also. So yeah, I've got an Instagram, MJ Burnette, and then marshallburnette.com. It's just my website where I put everything else up on there.
Sweet. I'll post those links in the description.
Sweet.
The shoot you and I were just on a couple weeks ago, we were doing I was doing stills and you were doing video for this pickleball company, and definitely one of the more run and gun, less planned out type of shoots. And
Yeah.
I feel like as a freelancer, you get really good at having to adapt to that. Like we said, like the morning of, we showed up, we're like, all right, we're just going to roll with it.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily like the best feeling, but because you always want to like have as much prep and as a creative have time to think through your shot list and your lighting setups. But it is also a little bit freeing to just fucking run with it.
Yeah. I've been doing a little bit more of that shooting wise, not like directing run and gun, but
Really?
shooting. And yeah, it's interesting because I used to, if I was looking at like a bad shot or a shot I didn't like in the monitor, put me in a bad mood, right?
Right.
And yeah, that's probably like an ego thing too. And not saying like I'm just hitting record on bad shots, but you know, you'll frame something and be like, oh man, if I had this gear or like another set of hands, or if I could get a flag up or something, it would be better. And we can't really do that all the time. But I've gotten better at like just being humble and actually just thinking what the final product is. It's this is going to be good for what they're asking for what we're doing.
100%. Yeah. And it, like I was saying, it does feel a little bit more freeing when you aren't weighed down by that crew.
Yeah. And I've worked with that producer before and you hadn't. So you kind of came in blind, more or less. Because I didn't know you were on until like the day before, but I had sent your name out.
Right. I mean, the producer was great.
Yeah.
It was nothing having to do with him.
Yeah. Well, no, I just know his like expectation and kind of.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So I was like, more low. I didn't have a lot of weight on my shoulders coming in. You know, I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep up and give them good images.
Yep.
I'm not going to stress about like their schedule stuff because I know that's not for me to worry about on this.
Right. Yeah. Where I didn't really have that background.
Right.
I was like, I don't have a shot list.
Yeah.
I don't know
you
what
showed
we're
up
doing.
in the creative director. You hadn't got anything.
No.
You'd never seen the space. You didn't even really know. And I guess it's pickleball, but we were shooting like supposedly like some of the best pros in the country, in the world or something.
Yeah. So, and I felt bad because I was like, man, I feel so unprepared. I don't want to show up and disappoint anybody, but it was, it was just, that's what it was.
No, they were stoked the whole time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
but
that's good. Yeah. Pickleball. That was also my first time playing.
It's fun, man.
It is fun.
It's a fun hop. I play every now and then.
Yeah.
My wife and I have a court like walking distance from our house.
It's incredible.
So,
well, I walked away from that shoot and I was talking to Lindsay, my wife, and I was like, that's like the perfect winter activity too. You just go indoors and like you could be there for hours. That'd be great.
Yep.
Because I'm a big golf guy, and during the winter, that's my main hobby. Can't do that.
Yeah.
That being said, I've golfed every month of the year out here in Colorado because the courses stay open,
right,
which is great. Can't do that in Indiana.
No, definitely not.
Well, let's take a step back here real quick and I wanted to ask about how you got into the industry. I know we were talking about that a little bit earlier, but for people out there listening who may not be familiar with your work, just talk about how you got into film, and was that always your goal growing up? Like, were you at the movies and you were inspired and that's what you wanted to do, or what happened?
I was obsessed with movies, like more than anybody that I knew. But I grew up in like a small town in East Tennessee. There's no industry there, obviously. Later on, I found out there was like one production company that would kind of like one guy that owned grip gear in town for like the local used car commercials and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And that was the extent of it. But no, grew up obsessed with movies. My mom got me into like classic films. I grew up on like black and white, just TMC, TV Land.
Oh,
like watching like Adam 12 and Dragnet as like a little kid. And like, that's what I grew up on. And then definitely got into the classics, like 12 Angry Men and To Kill a Mockingbird. And like, The Good Earth and stuff like that, because my mom always loved them. But then I never thought of it could be a job, because I never had,
So far away.
far away.
Yeah, I was very similar.
Yeah. So I ended up I was really into the outdoors too, because I was basically on the North Carolina, Tennessee line in the mountains. So I grew up like mountain biking, rock climbing, camping, like all that stuff. So I went to college for park and rec management.
Oh.
And which is the degree you get if you want to be like a park ranger or like work at a resort.
Yeah.
So I was going to do something like along that path. And it's kind of funny looking back. I was supposed to move to Mammoth Mountain, California right after I graduated. And I was going to like manage the snowboard school.
Whoa.
Which was cool. But then I graduated in December, and I called to ask about like, I don't know, lodging or something like that, what they had set up. And the guy was like, it's looking like a bad season right now. We're going to have to like start you a little bit later or something.
Oh, because the snow hadn't fallen.
Exactly. Yeah. And I had a plan, and it was like, well,
like,
I'm
hey,
on
buddy.
my own now. I need a job,
Yeah.
So I passed on it. I thought about it, and I was like, hey, I can't be that flexible. Like,
Right.
I'm moving across the country for this.
Yep.
So I got a job at like a local liquor store and just like took a year off pretty much.
Nice.
And during all this time, I was like racing mountain bikes, and I had like a little handy cam and was like making little mountain bike edits. Very like fisheye looking, like classic skater film type stuff.
Yep.
A lot of like TV on the radio, soundtrack, But I was working at a liquor store, and then also like an outfitter that sold like fly fishing gear, camping gear, all that stuff.
Oh, cool.
So I was working in there one day, and a buddy was asking me about editing, and I was like, I was in Final Cut 7 probably at that time.
Yep. Yep.
So I was talking to him about editing, like, you go in and do this, blah, blah, blah. And this guy in the store overheard me, and he was like, are you an editor? And I was like, I mean, like a little bit.
Like, can edit.
And he just goes, my editor quit on me last week. Oh. And I was like, what is this? And then like that weekend, he had me out like shooting like local reality stuff.
Whoa.
And he owned like a production company, and they shot like the local football games for the high schools and like did stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I worked with him for like a year or more on a freelance basis, and pretty good money for like, fresh out of school, not even researching that industry. Mm-hmm. So then I was like, oh, maybe this can be a job.
Yeah.
So then I looked into film school.
Cool.
And then the next year went to film school in Vancouver.
So you were shooting those reality spots. Was that still in Eastern Tennessee?
It was, yeah.
Okay.
John City, Tennessee.
So you never made your way out to California or to Mammoth?
No.
Okay.
Never did.
Yep.
That went away. Yeah, but then I just stumbled into a job opportunity to like shoot.
How crazy
I didn't really know what I was doing. Like, I was obsessed with film and reading, but like I remember I read this book from like the Polish brothers who made like North Fork and like Twin Falls, Idaho, like big Sundance films back in the day. And they have this awesome book called The Declaration of Independent Filmmaking.
Oh, nice.
And I probably read it like 3 times in college because I was just into that stuff.
Yep.
And them talking about film stocks and like 35 mil and like production designing and the different roles and everything. Mm-hmm. So then when I started shooting, I had that knowledge, which is very high level of like a whole crew and 35 millimeter film and like grip trucks and all this stuff. But I was just like with a cheap Panasonic camera,
right,
having to make like news segments pretty much.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing.
It's so funny when you say that, like when you're doing something for fun, like you said, shooting those bike videos, and you're just like putting together edits, and you're enjoying yourself, and then somebody's like, "Hey, I'll pay you like $300 to do that." You're like, what?
I know.
When you're already doing it for free, it's like the best.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started out doing that too. Even shooting like weddings, I would get paid like $500 or $600 to shoot a wedding. That was like so much money back then.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, I can make that in a day,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Did you search out weddings?
No, I went to film school in Chicago for a couple of years and then dropped out because it was too expensive. I realized, this is too expensive. So I wanted to move out to LA and start from the bottom, work my way up. And to start saving up for that, I started shooting weddings. And then worked with a production company there in Indiana for like, I think I was doing weddings for like 4 years. And then I was like, this sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. And then the wedding production company that I was with started picking up commercial work. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like I never had considered that as a possibility. And then the company kind of took off, started doing like bigger and bigger projects. And, I loved it and kind of fell in love with the process. And then eventually I was like, I don't need to go to LA.
So you were there at a good time. Like you were with them before they were doing the fun stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's lucky.
Yeah. So I got to grow and then build out that company. Like it was a small production, really creative agency, because we did everything from like, there was like photographers and then graphic designers and web designers and marketing. And then I ran the video department, which was just me and 2 other guys.
Yeah.
And like I was doing everything from producing to editing and
Yep.
client facing stuff. And did that for probably from like 2015 to it was probably 2013 to 20, I don't know, it's all a blur. It was about 5 years of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is great. And then I was like, all right, I really want to focus on directing and cinematography. And I want to moved out here and started freelancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was 8 years ago.
Yep.
But then I think I cold called Ben, cold emailed.
Yeah.
And I can't remember exactly how.
I think you just came by the shop one day and like
Yeah.
hung out for a little bit.
Yeah.
And at that point I was looking for like, yeah, I mean, there was a shortage of good looking DP work in town, I want to say.
Good looking
like,
DPs.
Yeah. Good looking DPs that make good looking work.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot, the Denver thing, there's not a shortage of dudes that can shoot like lifestyle documentary up in the mountains.
Oh,
natural light.
Yeah.
Slow motion.
That's
stuff.
flooded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was, especially when I came out, a really small list of DPs that could light a really good cinematic narrative scene.
Yeah.
But there's also not tons of that work. There is a little bit, right? Like scripted commercials. But yeah, I had a handful of guys that I liked their work. But then, yeah, you came out and it was like, oh, he knows how to light and like.
Yeah. Yeah. And at the time, what was your role? We're talking about Image Brew. And what was your role there at that time?
So that kind of started. So I was in Nashville after film school, which was a year program in Vancouver. I moved home for like 6 months, just enough time to like get my footing, and then moved to Nashville because it was the closest like entertainment hub to where I grew up.
Yep.
So I was there for a decade, and I came up and, spent a decade learning the roles, like networking, meeting lots of good people, creating like a tight knit circle. And my goal was always to direct from film school too. Like that's what I focused on there, was like making short films and stuff. So then I was making music videos for like $500, like as a director.
You did a lot of music videos, right?
I did.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. Not like, a couple artists that people have heard of, but a lot of just like indie rock bands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I tried to avoid the country stuff. I did it a little bit, but it just wasn't my shtick. Like
being in Nashville,
and that's where the money's at. It was like Christian music or like country music. I was on the roster at a shop called Revolution Pictures for a while, and they'd send me like solicits, bids for a video for like, I don't know, just whoever the big artist was. Like I remember one was like Brad Paisley, and I just was not into the song or what they wanted. So I was like, I'm gonna skip it. And they were so confused. They're like, you're not gonna write a treatment for this?
For Brad Paisley?
Yeah. They're like, why?
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, I probably wasn't a good fit for them. That was their stuff coming in, but I was like, I don't.
I think that, realizing that at a relatively young age is a good thing, though. I feel like that's something I had to learn the hard way on projects that I was directing is I would take on, like I took on this comedy spot where I was directing and DPing, which is never ideal, but I'm not a comedy guy. I didn't have a comedy background, but I took the spot and I got it. And the client like was not happy because they wanted a comedy director that was going to work with the actors and really go through the lines and try out different things. And like, I had no experience doing that in the comedy world.
Yeah.
So I realized looking back, I'm like, I shouldn't have gone after that job, especially as a director. Like you need to be invested to a certain degree.
Yeah. Especially if you're talking about finding things on set and improvising, like you don't have time to worry about lighting too.
Right. So that was one of the jobs I learned the hard way. I was like, man, if I'm going to direct something, I need to like have at least some kind of a stake creatively in it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
as a DP, I feel like totally different. I feel like I can shoot almost anything.
Oh yeah. It's fun too, to mix it up that way.
Yep. But anyway,
but yeah, so I did that and I kind of got to a point where it was like, for the type of work I wanted to do, Nashville had kind of run its course, I guess. Also, a lot of my core group of friends had moved to LA, New York, was like spreading out. So me and my wife, like, were talking about places to move, and Denver was just attractive because we missed the mountains and stuff. So I came out, had networking, coffee meetings, things like that. Met with a few different shops, and then met with Ben at Image Brew as one of them. And he just started like pitching me on commercials. Oh. And then we like won one.
Nice.
So I flew out and directed it, and it was really fun and like really professional, like well done. The crew was awesome. Like everyone out here was sick. And then I did a few more still living in Nashville.
Yep.
And then Ben was like, hey, if you ever think you're going to move out here, let me know. And I might just bring you on at the shop as like, we didn't really have a title. It ended up being like creative director, I think. But I pretty much directed maybe like 75% of this stuff and like oversaw post and oversaw like the quality of everything and stuff like that. So it was a good way to move here and like set up home and get to know people and learn the crew and stuff like that.
And how long had you been there when I came along ish?
Probably just like a year. I think I was only there for like 2 years.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
I wasn't there super long. Like I was ready to freelance. Because the directing opportunities, it was tricky because we were kind of like a medium tier size shop for the area. So we were bidding against like the bigger shops.
Yep.
And rarely winning.
Right.
And I wanted to go after those bigger bids, right?
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. Taking a step back a little bit, I really wanted to talk to you about Silo.
Yeah.
Which is the feature film that you directed a few years ago. Not many people, well, you're the first guest that I've had. I've not had that many people on. This is really new, but you're the first guest that has, done a feature, not only done a feature, but directed one. I guess it's a big question to ask, like, what was that process like? But, I think for people watching and who might be interested in like what that experience was like would you mind talking through that a little bit?
Yeah. It was crazy. Like overall, it was crazy. It was like, that's was always my goal, and it still is. Yeah, a dream of mine to keep doing that. Right. This one was like, it was interesting. I kind of stumbled into the opportunity where I was developing. I just had the story in mind. Like I had made a short film a few years before that did pretty good and popped around festivals, and I was proud of it, that I just financed myself and did a Kickstarter for and stuff like that. And then had that short film, then I had some music videos, and I, through a production company, commercial company I was working with, the EP there introduced me to like this writer that he went to school with up in New York. And I started chatting with her about stuff, and I was like, well, I've got this idea for this movie inspired by like these true events. And, I think it could be really good. And she was working with a company in New York that basically developed screenplays. So they'd option novels, hire her or other writers to like adapt it, and then they'd go sell them to studios. So that was like their business model. So she had written a few scripts for these people. And she just mentioned it to them, I guess, in one of her meetings. She was like, I've got this buddy who has this idea. And they were like really intrigued by it because they were like, well, we haven't produced a movie like from beginning to end yet, and we want to. And this seems like a potential story we could do.
Nice.
So she told me that. And I remember I was probably having some beers, hanging out at a friend's house when I had that call. And I was like, oh my God, I got to go to New York and like sell myself. I got to go pitch this thing.
Yeah.
So I just got busy and like put a pitch together, really fleshed out what the story was, and flew up there and like went to like Upper West Side, New York, and like pitched this thing in front of these guys that I had never met. And they were into it. And then we kind of shook hands. Which just kind of comes full circle too. I didn't shop it around. I was just like, somebody wants to make my movie. Yeah. In my head, I thought that meant like I'd be shooting in like 6 months or something. Like it would just happen. Like,
yeah, like right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. In those moments, because you're from small town East Tennessee. I'm from small town Indiana. You're in the meeting, Upper West Side, New York, pitching a movie. Like for me, sometimes like I just have like out of body experience. I'm like, how did I get here? Like in a good way. Like it's growing up, everything is so far away. There's no video production. There's no film production.
Right.
Like it always seemed like, this dream that was super far away. Like, I don't know, when you mentioned that, I'm like, man, that seems like one of those moments for me that I'd be like freaking out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember freaking out. I remember kind of enjoying it and just trying to take it serious and get the work done and seem professional. Like I got focused real fast.
That's what is different about us, is I'd be freaking out on the inside.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. To be honest, like I've had to work on my ego over time and things like that. So I feel like back then, to be honest, part of me, not in a healthy way, was like, I'm getting what I deserve. Man, I deserved it or something. And in reality, I didn't. And I was just like, okay, it's time. I've been waiting for this.
I wish I felt like that though. Cause my gut reaction is like, I don't deserve this. Right. Like that's my, default setting that I have to stop.
Well, that's a healthy, humble person trait.
But it's not helpful in those scenarios. I think it's to a fault to where I have to like stop, be like, okay, no, put that shit to the side and like get to work.
Yeah.
But my first reaction was like, oh, like, like, this is too big. Like I don't deserve this, like that kind of thing. But sometimes I wish I had more.
I think I also, even before I went to film school, I don't know why, I just adapted like fake it till you make it. And I kind of learned that from all the books I read. And like, I mean, I grew up, I'm part of the DVD commentary like generation, like grew up buying the special edition to listen to the commentary from filmmakers. And there was always that element. Like they all said the same thing. I don't know, showed up and faked it because I didn't really know. They're like, I was like a 25-year-old kid directing a movie. Like I had to, everyone's looking at me. I had to do something.
I mean, that's, all of us have had to fake it till we make it.
I mean, I'm still doing it to an extent. It's gone,
Yeah.
I've learned a little bit, but
it's true. It still does apply quite a bit.
Yeah.
Not just to filmmaking, but to life.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, that was the origin of it. And then it started, and then I was working with the producers. We found a really good screenwriter in New York, and I collaborated with him on the script.
Cool.
Because at the same time I was ADing a feature shortly after that. It was the first time ADing something that big, which was insanely stressful and a huge learning experience.
I bet.
So I was ADing that while we were developing the screenplay, and we had all these goals, like we're going to make it this date next year. So the story is about, if people don't know, the film's called Silo. It takes place on, we never say where, but it takes place on a corn farm in middle America. And I was inspired by this NPR story on, I forget the program, but it was late one night on NPR, and they were telling the story about grain entrapment accident, which is when farm workers get trapped in the grain silos, the grain bins. and basically like a quicksand effect, you know, and
Right.
it can happen multiple ways. This story that was the first time I heard this was these like teenage high school, these 3 boys were working a summer job on a corn farm in Illinois. And they were sent into this massive grain bin to like break up rotten corn. And somebody turned the auger on while they were in there, which sucks all the corn out the bottom.
Right.
And 2 of the boys drowned in the corn, and then 1 survived. And it was the aftermath in this small town of this, you know, this one kid who has survivor's guilt for what he went through, the guy that turned the auger on that didn't know they were in there, just all this drama.
Yeah.
And this thing that happens in the blink of an eye, like
It's a freak accident.
Yeah. And then I did research and found out like about 30 American farmers a year drown in their own grain. And I was like, what the heck? This is crazy. So I had this idea for like Magnolia on a Farm, is what I called it. Like this ensemble cast one day, you know, the ups and downs, all these like competing personalities and backstories between them, and like how they all like culminate around this one event to like save this kid. So that was the story. So yeah, I was ADing this thing. We were developing it, and we were like, okay, we got to shoot it during the summer, right? We had this plan. Here's the budget we think we need. And I was just guessing. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I definitely lowballed it. I think in the pitch, I was like, we can make it for $150,000, which was just,
Yeah. You just didn't know.
I didn't know.
Yeah. That's funny.
But then it went on for years, and like we wrote a really good script, but it was huge. Tons of characters. It was like a massive script.
Yeah.
I think it would have, on the low end, been like a $10 million movie
Wow.
to pull off.
Right.
Because the shooting days really that we would need to pull it off. A lot of characters, like 300 and some scenes, just like a real like Magnolia on a Farm.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, so we got to raise money to do this. How are we going to do this? Of course, the producers went to companies first. Rough House. I don't know. A24 was, they were around, but
They had
real
to be
selective
like, really
at the time.
new too.
They didn't have much out.
Yeah.
So we went to all of them, and they were like, yeah, no, but like keep us in the loop. Let us know how this develops. So we were like, okay, well, should we do a proof of concept while we don't, you know, have any money? Because the producers was like, I have a couple people, some private equity that want to be part of it.
Okay.
They can give us some money to go make something.
Yep.
And I had the idea to do a short documentary instead of like a scene from the movie, because I was like, I think it might be more interesting and serve multiple purposes. So we went and made for like $25,000, 30 grand or something, went and made this short documentary in Indiana, like on the Kentucky River border, you know?
Oh, down south? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it turned out really good, and I'm really proud of it. And then that ended up going to like Tribeca and a bunch of film festivals just as its own little film. And then National Geographic picked it up. So it's like on their YouTube page now.
Nice.
And we used that to help raise two things to help raise financing for the movie. Like, hey, we're going to turn this. We have a script for like a whole movie based on this. And then also for making connections in the industry to make the movie, it was huge.
Oh, I bet.
So getting locations. Because if you just go knock on the door of someone's farm in Kentucky and say, hey, we want to make a movie. Can we shoot here? They're like, who the hell are you? Like, get off my farm. But then we could show them this 10-minute film we made. And they were like, oh, I see what you're doing. Like,
that's smart.
Yeah. And it really helped. And we put it in front of, you know, all these different big organizations that, you know, represent the farming industry and like lobby on their behalf, and they all got behind it. So we had a lot of like people behind it because of that. So it helped us find locations, raise not necessarily financing from those industries, but like partnerships.
Okay.
Where they were like, they're like, yeah, we'll back you up and say like you're making a good movie and help you get it done.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that documentary you feel like was kind of the key to getting the funding that you needed?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because the year after that got real busy.
Okay.
And we started like actually like, oh, I think we can make this. But we were never able to raise like $10 million that we needed for that script.
Okay.
So we had this like come to Jesus moment that was, I remember the producer called. He's like, hey, we either don't make the movie and then maybe we can write another script and do something else.
Yeah.
and then maybe, I don't know, one day down the road we'll get money for it, or we rewrite the script for the money we have. Because they had a certain amount of people that are like, yeah, I'll give you this much. Private equity, which I think was about like $1.5 million.
Okay.
So we were like, oh, let's do it. Let's just rewrite the script.
Yeah.
So me, Jason Williamson, the writer we were working with, and the producer went up to the Jersey Shore. I don't know why. I think the producer had like a family friend that had like a beach house.
Okay.
So we went and like locked ourselves in this beach house for like a week and postcarded the whole thing.
Nice.
And slowly started pulling postcards off the wall.
Right.
To like
The Robert Rodriguez method.
Is that kind of?
I mean, that's what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I heard recently that he postcards or index cards the entire movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a good way to see it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. That's cool.
And we came up with a cool story that like way more indie, way more simple, less characters. We lost some characters that I loved. But we had to get it down to like
out of necessity. Yeah.
Yeah. We were like, we can only afford this many days, this type of stunts, like all this stuff.
Yeah.
But then we got a script that we were like, okay, we can do this.
Nice.
And then yeah, like 6 months later, we were probably shooting.
Wow. And where did you film?
All the on location stuff was a farm in Kentucky.
Okay. Nice.
Which was great because it was like 2.5 hours from me in Nashville at the time.
Oh, yeah.
So I could drive up there in pre-production and get to know people, and had a lot of meetings around this little town. It was like right down the road from Maker's Mark and like
Oh, sick.
Woodford Reserve, like all these
The
bourbon distilleries. So most of the grain and corn from this farm goes to bourbon.
Oh, nice.
And it was the only reason it worked really well is because it was like a 30-year-old young farmer and his wife who he was taking the business over from his dad.
Oh.
And it's super intelligent, awesome guy. But he was also just like, because we were going to get in their way. It's like they're producing grain and harvesting while we're shooting and stuff like that.
Right. They're not going to shut down their farm.
They're not shutting down.
Yeah.
Like Interstellar, I don't know if you've heard the story, but like the corn farm stuff, they just grew their own corn and built the farm
Right.
for the movie.
Yeah.
And then they actually harvested it and sold it all and got all that money back.
I did hear that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah. We didn't have the money to like, that's a good idea, but we couldn't do that. So we had to like create a really good relationship with the farmer.
Yeah.
And he was awesome. And
Nice.
part of that was like, we shot a lot in their house and we added our own walls and extensions, like kind of to get the look we wanted. So we messed with all their stuff, and like we partnered with a grain bin company called Sucup that manufactures these things. And the farm didn't have a big enough grain bin yet to look like ominous for the movie. So Sucup came and built a new grain bin on the farm.
Whoa.
Which is like a big thing.
Yeah.
Since then, his farm's grown even more than that.
Wow.
So I like to think hopefully maybe we helped him like
grow,
get that ball rolling.
Nice.
But they came and built like a 60-foot tall, like massive grain bin that we used for the movie. And then we shot all the sets because we had a lot of set work. We were looking for a studio, but it had to be like 60 feet tall to build the height we needed for these things.
Yeah.
And we couldn't find anything in Kentucky. Definitely not nearly that tall. We even went and scouted the Louisville mega caverns, they're called. Have you heard of those?
Just like the caves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a zip line park in them and like
Yeah.
a mountain bike park and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And they were going to let us shoot in there, but it was like, dude, it's a pitch black cave and it's cold. And I'm like, this would be weird.
It's like bats flying around
it
and
was
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's enormous, but like,
Yeah.
we ended up, that Sucup company has a private airplane hangar in Iowa.
Oh, okay.
And it was actually the airport where like Richie Valens and Buddy Holly took off from before they crashed, like the day the music died.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, yeah, you can use our hangar. So we ended up shooting all the sets in Iowa in an airplane hangar.
Wow. And just built the sets in the hangar.
Built the sets in the hangar. We had a rigging crew come down from like Minneapolis, I want to say, and like put trusses all over the ceilings for lighting.
Yep. You need a grid.
Yep. And to hang blue screen from and all that.
And you had like a big techno crane, right?
Yeah, for all that set stuff.
I remember you showing me the behind the scenes. It's pretty wild on some of those setups.
It was kind of the only way to do it because we had to drown actors in corn, right? So we basically built a grain bin and cut a quarter of it out
For the camera.
for the facade to see into it, right?
Yeah.
And it was elevated about 6 feet off the ground where the actors would like sink through the floor
Right.
and come out safely underneath.
Yep.
And it was like a pool of corn. It was like really crazy coming up with it, but there was no way to get all the different angles we needed.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, to set up a tripod is impossible. That would take like an hour to get it where we needed it.
Yeah.
So we were able to budget to have a techno crane for like 2 weeks for that stuff. So
Okay.
it can just go in there and go wherever the heck we need it.
Right.
And it also added, because originally I storyboarded the movie thinking like a tripod and handheld, more static, like not moving. And the movie has way more moving shots now because that thing, techno crane showed up and we're like, hey, we don't have limits. The camera can just start here and go there.
It also added a lot of production value because I watched the film, and some of those crane shots are just, they're great.
Yeah.
Some of those moves were sweet.
Yeah, it was fun to have. And it was also the DP's contact came from New York, drove his crane, and he was the guy that crane opt on like Schindler's List and stuff. So like a legend.
That's like the coolest when you run into those guys.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah.
Awesome like collaborator and problem solver. Because even though you have this crane, everything's still a problem. You're still like, okay, well, how are we going to do that?
Yeah.
Like there was one day, the big accident in the film when the boy gets trapped, another person goes under. It was like 16 shots in the storyboard. And the day before, me and the DP were like, there's no way we're going to get 16 setups in one day. That's impossible.
Yeah.
So we were like, you think we can just do it as a oneer with that crane? And we thought the producers were going to say, hell no. But they were, yeah, no, but they were cool with it. So we showed up we spent like 4 hours coming up with the shot.
Okay.
And blocking it. And it was a crazy dance.
Yeah.
Of stuff. It was like, so we had the crane coming down this ladder following someone. It goes back and forth through the set, but like someone sinks in the corn, crane flies down, and then like it passes him. And when you do that, we had an art team come in to like the way to sink them. We ended up getting like the little personal trampolines, those little tiny ones.
Yeah.
So we had holes in the floor, and we were like, how do we have the actor go down, but the corn not just pour through the bottom of our set?
Right.
So we took trampolines and just cut a slit in it that their body would slide through.
Yeah.
But you had to get their feet in there. So when they're standing on it, you have to pull the trampoline up and over their feet.
Right.
So like part of that oneer, the actor comes down into his mark and the camera had to pass him. And then an art crew comes in and gets his feet in position. Wow. So when the camera comes back, he's sinking now.
Yeah. And how many takes did that take to get that shot?
We did like as many as we could, which I want to say was like 16.
Okay.
Or something.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah.
How long of a shot was it?
Like 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
pretty long.
That's pretty long.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm glad we did it. Like it's a cool shot.
You feel like it helped the film, because a lot of times those, the technical issues that pop up in the moment, it's super frustrating trying to find the solution, but then in the end, it creatively can help quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you feel like
it was kind of like a revelatory moment on set. I think everyone was excited. We felt the film needed something a little more daring out of it.
That's cool.
So yeah, I think the film's better for it. And then also it was just like a big morale thing. Everyone's like, whoa, this is real. We're doing something crazy.
Yeah. That's so cool.
And it was cool. It was a dance because the crane ops up in the set kind of guiding the techno crane. It had like a Movi XL hanging on the end, right?
Yep.
The big gimbal.
Yep.
So I was on the Mimic controls because I knew what I wanted. So I talked to the DP and I was like, can I just opt this?
Yep.
Like, I think it was the only shot I opt in the film, but I was like, I know exactly where I want the camera to be looking. So I opted the pan tilt on the gimbal. And then there was like a grip on the back end because one part, it goes bird's eye. The camera goes so high and it's looking straight down. Can't reach it anymore. So like in the behind the scenes shot, the crane op just tosses it and lets it go. Right. And then there's a grip way on the back end, like shoving the counterweight to the floor to get the camera high enough.
Right.
And it does its move and comes back down. And then
gotta catch it.
The crane op catches it and keeps it going.
That's so cool.
So it was
That's
cool.
so much fun.
Yeah.
And now it's on Hulu, right? Is that what you said?
I think it's on Prime now.
Oh, Prime. Okay.
It was on Hulu for like 2 years, and I
Okay.
guess it's bouncing around.
Okay.
Last time I checked, it was on Prime.
I'll post a link in the description.
Sweet.
Try and post a link so people can check it out. But yeah, that was awesome. I mean, for a first feature, like I watched it and I was blown away. I thought it was really fun and a great concept, and it looked great too, which is cool.
Yeah, the DP's great. His name's Hunter Baker.
Yeah.
He's from New York, so I met him when he was in New York. Now he spends a lot of time in Santa Fe.
Okay.
It's kind of back and forth.
Yep.
But he's got a very distinct style, and I saw some work he had done that I really liked.
Yeah.
And it's very contrasty.
Yeah.
Very moody, contrasty. Like we worked with Company 3 to create like a shooting LUT. Mm-hmm. So we shot a lot of tests, told them what we wanted, got a LUT, and then we picked our wardrobe based on that. We went and did camera tests with that LUT.
That's so cool.
Because like one of the characters, they're all wearing the same thing every day. It all takes place in one day. So like one of the characters in scrubs, because she's a nurse, and we're like, there's so many shades of like seafoam green scrubs. And we tried probably a dozen and found like the perfect shade of green for that.
For the LUT.
For the LUT.
Yeah. What do you guys shoot on camera?
We had 2 Alexa Minis.
Okay. Nice.
It was before LFs were really a thing.
Yeah.
Or they were probably kind of coming out that year.
What year was this? Did you shoot?
Like 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it came out in 21, I think. Or 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple minis, which was great because it was a mix of handheld, a lot of rigging, a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the look of it, talking about that, it was funny because we shot a pretty dark movie. And I remember showing up to New York for post. We did post in New York, and I went and got coffee with the producer. Mm-hmm. And he had like a notebook of notes from production. And the first one, he just goes, all right, first note, I've been watching like all the raw footage, and he just goes, it's very dark. And I was like, where were you the last 2 months?
Isn't that like probably the most common feedback that you get from like client and producers and things? I feel like that's one of the most common.
If I'm fortunate enough to get to shoot something dark.
Right. Well, we're always pushing as cinematographers. We're always pushing for more contrast.
Yeah.
Unless it's like you're shooting a high key commercial spot, like this is totally different. But
right.
Any opportunity, you're like, ooh, let's go like real gritty with this.
Yeah, just pull the highlights down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. But then I also saw a review and it came out and it cracked me up. And it was like a negative review. But they were like, the look of it, because it's also very warm. Like the Company 3 finished it, colored it. It's very warm, a lot of orange like hues and stuff like that in the film.
Yeah.
And the review was like, the whole movie looks like it was shot during a solar eclipse. So I sent it to the DP and we just laughed.
That's incredible.
I was like, yeah, I mean, it's definitely an exaggeration, but they're not wrong. Like, it's kind of funny.
The interiors of the farmhouse, like I loved it though, like how dark and contrasty it got. Like it was definitely a vibe. And if anything, like you went for a bold look and you like nailed it. It was great.
I'm happy with the way it looks, and I'm insanely proud of the color palette.
Oh yeah.
Because we actually got to spend time testing everything, colors of cars, wardrobe, everything. And I came away from that and I was like, oh, that's the difference between like professional and wannabe.
Yep.
Everything's intentional, and it looks like from beginning to end, like the color palette.
You have control over everything.
Yeah.
Like you said, picking out 12 different sets of scrubs and finding which seafoam green is the one that's going to work with the LUT that we're working on.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, having the opportunity to even do that is so cool.
Yeah. Because there's only my favorite commercials I've done are the same way. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that I've had a lot of time and a little bit of money to like let the production designer really do their job and wardrobe.
Yep.
And it shows. It's like, whoa, it's so cohesive.
That was a big thing that I realized is your relationship. If you're the DP or the director, really, your relationship with the set designer, the wardrobe stylist is huge. And I don't think a lot of people realize that, at least people coming up.
No, I didn't realize it for a while.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it. I mean, I'd always have production designers on music videos, but we would never talked that much about color and things like that.
Yeah.
And now it's like, as long as I have a little bit of time and a little bit of money,
Yeah.
I want it to go into that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you can take an incredible color palette and set dressed room and shoot it with a shitty camera and lens. Yeah. And the thing feels good.
I would almost rather, like have budget go towards that than lighting a camera in a lot of scenarios.
Yeah. That was a big, I think I really learned that on that film, which was good. That's awesome. The value of that.
Yeah. Even with Denver, another big thing is like flying in talent from out of town. Yeah. A lot of the fashion shoots that I do is they'd fly in, talent from LA and New York, and, not hating on Denver at all, but the talent pool is very small, and the people who are really good are always booked and they're in everything. So you kind of don't want necessarily want to do that.
Yeah. I have so many spots with the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which happens.
Which is, it's fine. It is what it is, but yeah, that's like a whole nother thing. Okay. So now that the film's wrapped, right? Yep. And you go into post-production, you get through that and you go to release it. Tell me about that part of the process.
Yeah. So that's when things kind of started to fall apart, to be honest. Mm-hmm. We were did a really good job production schedule, post schedule. I was editing with a good friend from Nashville who was living in New York. So we cut the film in a little office in Bushwick. Okay. I think we were in Bushwick. It was cool. It was a little post shop called Nice Dissolve. And we were cutting our movie next door to, they had a cool little theater to screen. And then we all had little edit bays. And we were cutting our film next door to Maggie Gyllenhaal and Peter Sarsgaard's. They made an indie movie. Oh, really? So I'd go to get coffee in the little kitchen with Maggie Gyllenhaal in there.
That's sick.
Which was pretty wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which was cool. It was rad.
Do you know what movie that was?
I used to, but I don't remember. Yeah, it was a little indie that kind of came out the following year that did some festivals.
We'll have to look it up.
Mm-hmm. But we cut there, spent a couple months on it. And at that time, I had overlapped. I sold my house in Nashville, me and my wife, and she came to Denver a couple weeks early and got our rental place. So she was setting up home here, and I was finishing in New York. Okay. And then we were going to get kind of a picture lock, and then I was going to finish the film remotely. And then post just kind of got away from a lot of us. That's when I really started to realize that me and the producer did not have the same movie in mind, which was rough. Me and my editor did, because I had worked with him for years and really trusted him. We kind of knew we were trying to make an indie drama that had some thrilling elements, like a ticking clock, right? The producer really wanted to make a 90s action movie.
And this only came up, he had been a part of the process from the beginning, right?
It was probably 4 years at that point that we had been developing.
And you had no, when did you start?
I did. I had red flags, but it wasn't anything to act on. Sure. It just started with he didn't know my references. Okay. He hadn't seen a lot of movies. He did a good job watching things that I liked and stuff like that. But I think it's can you change somebody, right? If that's the main question. Mm-hmm. I think I always thought he'll come around to see when I'm trying to make this real tone, a heavy tone throughout the whole thing, right? Yeah. And he started he took the film and cut his own version. There were a handful of good ideas in there, and then some things that were just drastically not my movie, making some scenes into flashbacks that weren't even written as flashbacks, and playing with the time of the film, and just cutting out entire characters, little subplots and things. And I tried to collaborate for a while on that. And then it got to a point that I don't know what clicked in his head, but he just went, I remember a call and he was like, we don't have time to edit this anymore. We're just going to release my version. And that was holy shit. And then it just got so freaking stressful. And I fought to get some things back in there from my movie, like pick your battles, right? Like, okay, I'll let you have this like scene that you chopped up, but can we please put this back the way it was? Like, here's the reason why. Did that harder and harder and harder. And I was prepared to be like, okay, that's making a movie. We've sacrificed, we've met in the middle. But one whole key thing, like a rule that I said at the very beginning was like, I don't want this to feel like a farm movie, like a Hallmark farm movie.
Right.
This is not that. This is like this is like a serious dramatic thing.
Yeah.
And I get a it's the night before it goes to sound mix, and a film's cut into reels, like 7-minute reels that they mix at a time, right? So there's like 11 or 12 reels throughout the film, and I'm going through making notes for the mixer and for sound design, and I get to the end, and there's like a country song over the credits, like a straight up like Nashville honky tonk country song. Mm-hmm. And I just called the producer, and I was like, what the hell is this? I've never even heard this before. Yeah. And he was just like, I think it's good for like the financial benefit of the movie, and we're keeping it in. And I was just like, okay, well, I told you from the beginning, like, I'm not down for that. And then I kind of stepped back at that point. Mm-hmm. And I had other producers on the film that I really trusted, and I would call them and be like, hey, Sam's trying to do this to the movie. And then they'd try to call the producer, and he wouldn't answer. And he kind of just slowly started cutting people out of the process, where it just ended with, it was just like him finishing the movie. My editor was even like, I'm done. Like, I'm not going to keep bastardizing this thing and chopping it up. Yeah. So it got finished. And his whole plan, his marketing plan was interesting too. He wanted to travel it around like Middle America, like a book tour, and do screenings in small towns. Okay. And he did that for a while and probably made some money doing that. And then COVID hit. No one's gathering for a public screening anymore. Yeah. And I think that forced him to go the more traditional route and look to release it. And no one ever called me and told me. I just saw someone sent it to me, maybe like The Guardian published that Oscilloscope Laboratories had bought it. That's how you. And I found out from The Guardian. Wow. But then they reached out to me. Some crazy stories from that too, but they were nice. Like I really respect them. Yeah. Yeah. They've got some awesome films and a good reputation. Mm-hmm. And they put it out in theaters, like 200 theaters, which is huge. That's so cool. None in Denver.
That's right. I remember you telling me. Did you go and see it in theaters?
No. Yeah. Never did. I saw it on the big screen when we were doing mixing and color and stuff like that, but never with like a room full of people. Yeah. And then shortly after that, went to video on demand. Mm-hmm. Was there for a while, like where you can rent and buy it, and then it ended up on Hulu. Okay, yeah, that's where it is now. But now it's on Prime. Oh, Prime. It's hopped around. So I don't really know the ins and outs of the business. I don't know what the deal was that they signed with the producer. Yeah, I had points on the movie. I don't think it's made its money back. I haven't made any money off of it. Mm-hmm. That was never my goal anyway. Yeah, yeah. You know, I never even really thought about that, but I think that's kind of where it ended up, you know, which is a pretty normal indie story, you know, like. I mean, the thing that's fascinating for me, and I think a lot of people, is like I guess, you know, I have not been in the narrative world for a long time, but producers having that, you know, ability to just take over sounds pretty crazy. There's nothing stopping them from doing. I didn't have final cut on the movie, which I understand. It was a good bit of money to make my first film, right? So I did work with like a entertainment lawyer when I was doing a contract with it, because I was selling my idea to these producers. Like you own the story that I've come up with, right? The IP, pretty much. And I, you know, they wouldn't give me final cut on it, and I understand that. That's very normal. So yeah, it came to a point where it's like, there's nothing I can do. And I even talked to like a very reputable director that's very successful that I met a long time ago when his career was starting, after he had made like one feature, a Southern filmmaker, and he's been responsive, and we have an email back and forth. And I told him what was going on. And he said the only leverage you have is to threaten to take your name off if you think it's that important. He's like, that's all you can do. Like literally.
Wow. Because they
didn't.
control the IP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing, a lawyer can't do anything. You don't have any paperwork saying all this stuff or whatever. So,
Yeah.
but I never did that. I didn't want to like just get rid of the movie. I was still so proud of a lot of it. Mm-hmm. I still don't like watching it from beginning to end, to be honest, because the
It's a little
edit,
painful. Yeah.
the story is, the tone's gone.
Mm-hmm.
The tone that I intended and worked really hard to create is gone.
Yeah.
But I can still watch sequences. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty proud of what we pulled off in that sequence.
Yeah.
It's just the way it was put together wasn't a good representation of me.
Mm-hmm.
So that was tricky.
Yeah. Man, that's tough.
Yeah.
And that's not like, obviously in the commercial world, like that, it's a totally different, it's not like that at all. Where like,
you don't know
producers
any
go
of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just got to know that I'm making this for somebody else.
Yeah.
Helping them.
Yeah.
The way I like to talk about commercials is like, I am executing their vision, but they could do that on their own. Mm-hmm. I'm here to elevate it. Yeah. Like execute their vision and make it a little bit better than they think it can be.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that transition? Like, obviously you're, big film guy, same here, coming from that world, and how do you transition those ideas and maybe creative processes to the commercial side of things?
Yeah, I think those are all my references as film, right? And I used to be really into music videos when they were bigger, let's say like 15 years ago and stuff. And like they were getting seen more, and a lot of artists were getting big off music videos, like Alt J. I found them through like their first music video, and it was more like, this video is crazy. Have you seen this? And then the music gets in your head, and then they blow up,
Yeah.
Purity Ring. There's like all those groups that were coming about through like word of mouth music videos.
Yeah.
So a lot of that is reference and stuff. But yeah, so when I'm making a commercial, I mean, I don't consume commercials as much as I do film and TV. So my references are like, oh yeah, kind of like the look and feel of this movie, and then even when I'm doing casting for a commercial, because sometimes the script is so short, it's not worth sending out as like audition sides. So I'll think about who the character is and think about a film, and then usually pull up the script from that film and like send one scene of that film as like an audition side for the auditions.
Cool.
So I do that a lot just to see like, do they feel like the character, even though it's from another movie, but can I see that in this character? So everything kind of from movies. And then like when I'm making my treatments, it's mostly images from films that I'm referencing.
Yeah. That's that's a really cool process, because some, cinematographers on here, they are mostly just in the commercial world, and they have like these references that are all commercial, and not bad commercial work, like really incredible commercial work. And everybody's like so different in the way that they curate and pitch and bring ideas to life. I think it's so fascinating that like you're like, almost no commercial references. I'm going from film, and then other DPs are curating these libraries of commercials that they've pulled and pitching that. So it's like, you can do it a bunch of different ways, which I think is fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, I try to save everything. Like, I get those commercials on Instagram just from following so many filmmakers and DPs doing like really good high-end work,
right? And
saving their posts.
Yeah.
So then I can reference those things, but I'm still referencing 15-year-old commercial concepts where I saw a commercial 15 years ago. I'm like, oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah. I still have like my old college YouTube playlist of like videos that I used to watch in college, because I going back to that space creatively is really important for me. No matter what the job is, be like, I'm gonna go back to that like My Chemical Romance music video and pull it up and just watch it again. Yeah. Because like it gets you into that, creative space.
Yeah, that's something that really inspired you back then.
Yeah. I don't think that's another thing that I thought would be different is, as you grow and mature, like your taste is going to change, which it does. But also I love going back to the roots constantly. Be like finding the things that inspired me in high school and college and were the reasons that I got into this in the first place.
Oh, my wife and I, we rewatched like 12 Angry Men last week or something. And I was just like, the camera work is so incredible and the blocking in that movie.
Yeah.
It's so intricate and complex and like these subtle camera pushes like over the table into a close up. And within 20 minutes in the movie, I was like, oh, they figured this out a long time ago. I like to think I see things in movies. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so groundbreaking.
Oh, yeah.
You go back and rewatch a movie like 12 Angry Men and you're like, oh, they did it better way back then. I was like, we're not doing anything new.
No, those techniques, have really been invented a long time ago. We're just.
It's good to remind yourself of that like,
we're just stealing.
We're stealing.
Yeah.
We're stealing, putting our own little spin on it, but like.
Steal like an artist.
Right.
Yeah.
Not like.
There's a way to do it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just inspiration. Like commercials, I always like working with DPs that we have the same taste. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a big lesson I learned from Silo is like, I think it's important when you go into a project that your big collaborators, you have a shorthand just because you understand the same references.
Oh,
and like have the same taste. So I love working with a DP where I can be like, oh, remember that scene in this? And they just go, oh, I know what you're saying. Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Instead of like, having to pull up an image and show someone, well, there's a movie and it looked like this and having to explain it, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's huge. Having that shorthand on set it saves so much time.
So much.
Having to explain tone too.
Oh my gosh, that's impossible.
It pretty much
really
is.
I tried making Silo to explain tone and you can't.
No, you can't.
It's so hard to, like a song does it better than anything, I feel like, to be like, listen to this.
Yeah.
Or look at this image. That's what I'm feeling.
I do feel like tone is an undersung hero, and it's probably like the most important part of filmmaking. Like my wife and I watched the newest Final Destination movie.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's so enjoyable. I feel like they like nailed the tone throughout the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
like it was just like cheesy, like bad acting. But it carried through the whole thing. And I was like, this is so fun to watch, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, all those movies have a specific
I mean,
tone.
I think Joel Cohen said directing is tone management. And I've always just like written that down.
Yep.
And that's what I believe.
Yeah.
It truly is. You're managing a lot of departments to end on a cohesive tone. And I think P.T. Anderson even said like when he walks out of a movie, he doesn't necessarily remember the story like a couple of days later, but he remembers the tone.
I'm a big tone guy too. Yeah. I definitely am less focused on the script and I'm walking away out of the theater with the feeling more than the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that translates to like the way I approach directing, but also even like from a DP standpoint and a stills photography standpoint.
Yeah.
It's like I'm usually thinking about tone more than a lot of other things.
Yeah.
And one thing I talk about is like I feel like cinematographers are a sliding scale, one end being super technical, extremely knowledgeable, very smart, like you know everything in and out. And then the other one is all tone / visual, to where you're wanting like a specific feeling. And I think I'm more towards that end of things. And then I balance it out by bringing on like an AC or somebody who is like
and a great gaffer too.
And a great gaffer, yeah.
Because like
someone who's like 40 years older than me and
knows the name of every little gadget on the truck.
Yeah. Because my mind, I know enough to get by and do a really good job. Like I'm never worried about that. But my mind is not thinking on the technical side of things. So I try and balance myself out that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Like, how do you feel on that scale?
I think I come from the technical side. Like I'm a gearhead in my hobbies also. Just like obsessed with gear. I love figuring out little things, very like engineering mind in that sense.
Yeah.
But then when I watch a movie, I don't watch it that way. I watch it for the emotion. Like it's still like it's the only time I could still like easily cry is like watching a good movie and it just affects me. I'm able to watch a movie and forget about that stuff.
Yep.
So so I think I come from the technical side, but I want to be on the other side. So I probably fall somewhere in the middle.
That's good though. I think it's good to be in the middle.
Yeah.
Because then you can pull from both sides.
It helps directing because I think you got to be like a jack of all trades directing. Mm-hmm. It helps I came from editing. That's the first thing I really learned how to do. Mm-hmm. Spent time in camera. Writing's a huge hobby of mine. So knowing a little bit about every department is very important directing.
Yeah.
And then that means a lot of it's technical.
Yeah.
So when the DP's like, hey, we don't have that gear, or like I'm like, yeah, I get it. Mm-hmm. You know?
And you've been doing a lot more like cinematography work recently too.
Yeah, which has been fun.
Can you tell me about that going from, because I think when we met, you were pretty much mostly directing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I've had the opposite, because I went from DPing to now I'm directing a little bit more.
Yeah.
Which has also been fun. But tell me about that transition, if it even is a transition, but like going from wearing the director hat to the DP hat.
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved cameras, and I've done plenty of work where it's really small and I'm doing it myself or something, so I'm doing multiple things. So, and it's also being in Denver.
Yeah.
In Nashville, if you were to say like, oh, I direct, shoot, and edit, they'd be it's a red flag. They're like, oh, you're amateur.
One-man band, yeah.
Denver, you don't get that vibe, which is freeing. It's nice. So when I started freelancing, I started doing smaller. Well, I started being asked to like DP and direct smaller projects.
Yeah.
And I had a line where I was like, oh, well, if it's a heavy script and drama needs to come through and I need to work with the actors, we need someone else to shoot it. Mm-hmm. But if it was more like lifestyle heavy and montage-y type thing, I was like, oh, I think I can do that. Mm-hmm. So I did a lot of that. And then I was like, I should just cut a reel. So I cut like a DP reel, mostly of all I'd also directed everything you're seeing too.
Yeah.
But just put it out as a DP reel and started getting smaller, hit up to DP, more smaller projects.
Right.
And then it's just super enjoyable. And I've been learning constantly, and like most of it pulling from really good DPs that I've worked with as a director.
Just,
learning their tricks.
Yeah, on set.
Yeah. How they carry themselves, how they speak to their team, like all those things.
Yep.
Pulling from that. And I'm still, I'd still say directing is my day job that I feel more confident in selling myself in. But DPing, I'm just learning and like having fun doing it.
That's awesome.
And keeping myself busy in between directing projects.
Yeah, Denver is definitely that way. I don't know of, I mean, I think I know a couple people, only a few people in town who only do one thing.
Yeah.
Most of the time, everybody's doing 2 to 3 things, which, if I'm completely honest, I wasn't thrilled about when I first moved out here, because I only wanted to DP. But after, doing stills now and directing, I love wearing the different hats. Like mixing it up it only makes you better and more well-rounded,
For sure. There's a limit though. Like somebody asked me, so I have a friend coming from Nashville to do a shoot in a couple of weeks, and they were like, we need a gaffer, a key grip, and a second AC. Do you want to fill any of those? And I was like,
yeah.
I was like, I mean, I could second AC because I used to AC, but I was like, I don't think I'm.
No.
Let me give you some names of like who you really want.
Yeah. I'm the same boat. Like I'm not. Yeah. When you cross over too many things. But there are some guys in town who do that, and they do kill it, which is good. And the way the industry is in Denver, unfortunately, sometimes it requires those hybrid roles.
Yeah, it does. And that used to be like an ego trip for me, man. It was like, I really just wanted to do one thing at like a certain level. And I'm glad I've gotten over that.
But that's
just swallowed some pride and learn. And it wasn't, I learned it wasn't even like an ego thing or a pride thing to get over. It was just like a dumb thing in my head. And now I'm like,
right.
I just love working.
Yeah.
No matter the size of the thing, like I love creating.
Yeah.
And taking what's in front of me, regardless if I have like a 15, 20, 25 person crew or just me and a friend who's assisting that knows nothing of the industry, just trying to make the image in front of me a little bit better.
Yeah. I mean, that's the industry where it's heading to and where it's transforming is a lot of roles are getting, director, DP,
Yeah.
Gaffer. What was, somebody said like they needed a gaffer DIT or something. And I was just like, whoa.
That's a new one.
Yeah. I don't know if it was that exactly, but it was something to that effect where I was just like,
There'll be a
yikes.
gaffer out there that can. They're like,
for
well,
sure.
if I can get a little extra money to do both, why not?
I'll bring my laptop, film some footage. Yeah. What about, real quick, what about gear? Like what cameras are you shooting on? Do you have a favorite like lens camera combo? I know what you're shooting on now. We can talk about that.
For my own, I own a couple Canons. Like I've had a little red Komodo. I do a lot of work with a friend's company. That's a cool outdoor gear startup. And I do a lot for them every month. It's really fun just by myself.
Yeah.
So I invested in some gear. I had a red and then I got a Canon little R5C as like a gimbal thing I could throw on the gimbal. And I just loved it way more than the red. So I sold the red.
Yeah.
I was like, this little Canon's incredible. The color's awesome.
Yeah.
So I do own that with some Canon lenses and, enough stuff to be dangerous with that gear. Mm-hmm. But whenever I have a crew, I'm usually not using that stuff because it's really built out for just me.
Sure.
It's not ready for a bunch of pterodactyls and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the gear, my tastes have evolved for sure.
Well, let's say like this is a commercial shoot, bigger budget, and you can kind of pick and choose your combo. What would that look like?
Well,
every job's
different.
Yeah.
And I do embrace that and I enjoy that. But
Yeah.
the only system I haven't shot with is the Venice or Venice 2. Uh-huh. I'd like to one day because I love the image. I don't like operating a Sony myself, like a lower end Sony.
They're the worst.
Yeah. But the image looks great out of those. But no, I'll take an Arri over anything.
I shot on the Venice, not 2, but it felt like I was shooting on an Arri.
Okay.
The interface.
Yeah, that's good.
It didn't feel like a Sony at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks incredible. So I want to play on that at some point. Mm-hmm. I used to be real, of course, like everybody, like give me the oldest, dirtiest lenses we can, all that, Silo was shot on like Panavision, did the whole project, which was great. Mm-hmm. So we shot on Panavision. I want to say high speed anamorphics, the high speed series.
Okay.
Anamorphics is really fun, but man, they're limiting, especially directing because of that 3-foot focal length distance.
Yeah, I've really moved away from liking to shoot anamorphic for commercial work.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very limiting.
Yeah. I do it maybe once every couple of years on the right project.
Yeah, it's got to be.
And it's fun.
It's got to be the right one.
But I got to know. But no, I mean, I would take an Arri with probably a set of like Cook S4s or like Master Primes and be happy and be stoked.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a base point, but it's just like I've fallen in love with like a cleaner image. I'm not saying like sharp and no character or whatever, but just like
I've had that conversation with a lot of DPs, but I think it's like us growing up. 10 years ago, we were like anamorphic, everything,
dirty it up,
yeah. Look, and now
super bolitars, like
right. And now we're like shooting a high key commercial, and you're like, why would I shoot with anamorphic? Like that makes no sense.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a growing up taste kind of a thing. Where,
restrain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Part of that came from DPing too, because like directing, I'm overseeing the image, but like I'm not looking at the monitor all day. I'm working with the actors a lot. So like now when I'm only looking at the monitor all day DPing, oh my God, have I gotten like pixel peeper? Like I need both monitors to be calibrated. If there's one monitor that's a different hue, it messes with me and it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Like I can't do it. I was on a shoot recently, like with Sony's, and I didn't realize they don't have false color in the cameras, like an FX9.
Oh, in camera.
And I was like, how have you been exposing? Like, what are you doing?
What do you do?
Waveform, I guess. Or you can use the false color on a monitor.
I have not used waveform in years.
No. But like, I've gotten really particular DPing now where it's like.
That's what I do is because I don't own a camera kit, so I always bring my monitor and work off of that no matter what the camera is.
Dude, that's so important.
But now I just realized on my last shoot, I'm like, oh, I haven't calibrated my monitor in like 2 years, and it was off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit. So now that's on the to-do list.
Yep. I do mine because I'll edit a handful of projects that I direct still. So, I'll still calibrate my monitors in my office because they drive me nuts.
Do you have a calibration tool?
Yeah. One of those little ones that dangles from the monitor.
Okay. I'll ask I'll figure out where you got that from.
You can use it.
Okay.
You can borrow it. Yeah.
I'll borrow it. Sweet. We'll have a monitor calibrating party.
There you go.
Drink some beers.
Yeah.
Dude, before we go, what's been your favorite film that's come out this year?
Yeah, we should just do a podcast on this one movie, dude. I will say I have tickets Thursday to go see the new P.T. Anderson, so I'm stoked.
So where are you seeing that at?
The Alamo Draft House next to my house.
That's your go-to spot, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just go have lunch there by myself and watch everything. But by far Eddington, the Ari Aster
have not seen it
movie.
yet. Yep.
To be honest, I walked out of that movie. I went by myself, went home. My wife was like, how was the movie? And I was like, I think I might have just seen like one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life, but I don't know.
Whoa.
And I've watched it like 3 times now, and it's in my like top 10 of all time now. It's so sick.
You've seen it a couple times now?
Like 3 times, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's like, it's just a masterpiece, man. And it's about the time, the politics, just the hypocrisy and irony that we're living through now. And it's because it takes place during COVID time, right when mask mandates started. But it doesn't feel like a COVID time movie.
Okay.
It feels very Coen Brothers-esque, which I love the Coens.
Yeah.
Which
Interesting.
is awesome.
Yeah.
But it's the perfect level of like ambiguity. Like, it's not like some films where you just don't get it and you're like, okay, there's metaphors in this to talk about, but it's enough plot and story to keep you latched on the entire time and see where it goes. But it has just enough like ambiguity at the end to have, like, me and my friends are still having conversations like, oh, I have a new theory what this means.
Oh, cool.
Which is sick.
So it's like a great rewatch, and you can just keep
digging into details, because there's so many details too in a 2.5 hour movie. You forget in the first half hour, and you're like, that came full circle. Like, that's awesome.
Is it kind of a dark comedy?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I got from the
very,
trailer.
very much like a satire of the times. The first time I watched it, I didn't watch it as a comedy though, because it's intense.
Oh boy.
It's got one of the best shootout sequences I've ever seen in my life.
Whoa.
But then I told my dad he had to watch it, and he messaged me, and he was like, I laughed my ass off the whole time. And I was like, I guess you're right. It is pretty funny.
That's funny. That's cool. Yeah, that's on my list.
Yeah, get at that one. That's my favorite of the year so far. I'd be impressed if Joaquin should get the Oscar for that movie.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's awesome.
But I don't know. It didn't seem to be a commercial success. I don't know if it's too soon. If people aren't ready to look into themselves that much, because it's definitely that type of film.
It does seem kind of soon.
It's soon, and it's definitely not picking sides, and it calls out the hypocrisy in everyone in the story, which I love.
Yeah.
But I also think some people might get offended, I guess, or connect too much with a certain character in it or something. But
it makes it fun, though.
I agree.
Well, dude, gonna wrap it up here. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man, it was fun.
Yeah, I could chat
Super
for another
fun.
3 hours easily. But yeah, for people who haven't seen the movie, go check it out. Silo.
I thought we were still selling Eddington.
Amazon Prime. Also, go see Eddington. But yeah, this was fun.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah.
I thought we could do it.
I'll catch you on the next project.
Yeah, it'll probably be hopefully soon.
Sweet, yeah.
Some more pickleball.
Yeah, pickleball. All right, that's all, folks.